This chapter of Sakamoto Days has just completely proven to me that Uzuki quite literally is a useful idiot for the powers that be. Powers that be being people like Oki and just people that overall want to exploit power to kill for their own selfish gains, hold on to as much power as possible, and keep, the lower class, the peasants, down below. Because at this point, all Uzuki has done is take down his brother, Chairman Asaki, who realistically was the person that did all of these bad things to him. We know from Yotsumura, we know from everything that Asaki has been doing in the background, even Ando and Shin. This chairman, as we find out from earlier chapters, was basically in charge of the Japanese government by being the head of the JAA, was honestly doing very slimy and dirty things behind the backs of every ordinary everyday citizens. What was Uzuki's answer to this? Uzuki's problem was with the system that he was brought up in. The system that has allowed assassins to take control of the government. The system that has allowed him and Rion to have their, what could have been peaceful, ordinary lives, tattered and ripped beyond belief with no hopes of ever possibly happening. Uzuki's answer, which is so interesting to me that we actually got that flashback when Carolina Reaper goes, so what are we going to do after we break the system? Uzuki goes, yeah, I don't know. I just want to watch the world burn, basically. And at this point, that's what he's doing. As we get multiple scenes in this chapter of ordinary everyday people using the bullets that he has provided to kill people. With, the very first scene is a woman who has a man basically push up against her and harass her on the train. Something that she has probably dealt with her entire life and has probably made her so sick to her stomach constantly that, you know what? Honestly, I can't even blame her for reacting this way. You have, again, another situation where this guy who no one has done anything about, this dangerous driver where kids play around in, and has potentially put people's lives in danger multiple times, and the police have done nothing about, this guy takes justice into his own hands. Even this guy who's like, this one, the third one I thought was the craziest when complaining about his, the inflation and how he spends all his money on gambling. And he's saying that I deserve to die. I thought this guy was going to kill the person on the other side of the desk. Actually, the employee kills him and says, it's your fault that people who really need support get demonized and looked down upon. All of these people and these righteous crusades that they're on. And Uzuki mentions this. But my problem is, it's not a profound philosophy. It's not a profound answer that Uzuki gives or an observation that Uzuki is making. Unless you are a psychopath, you are most likely going to feel some type of way, potentially be traumatized for your entire life if you take the life of another human being or even are involved in watching another human being lose their life. All of that being said, in one day, 300,000 people are dead. Even though that first kill is hard, and it's going to be even harder for the other people that have yet to even pull that trigger, right? Because everybody is going to have their own difficulty level. These three people that we're introduced to clearly had these thoughts and these issues and this anger hiding in them from the beginning. I think that's very apparent. Everyday ordinary people aren't going out and killing someone on the first day they got a gun. They don't have a reason to. People that are living their lives and are filled with, work, family life, all of this stuff. The first couple of people that are going to shoot are people that have nothing to lose and are people that have been wanting to kill someone for the longest time. Are people that abuse, welfare and social aid, bad people? Yes. Are people that harass women on trains bad people? Yes. Are people that speed in traffic, especially that could potentially put kids in danger, bad people? Yes. 110%. Who is the arbiter that is able to say this person should live or die? Is that person justified in saying this person should die? That is an interesting question to ask. Uzuki is so caught up on the idea that, first, one person is going to kill another person. Then that second bullet that they shoot is going to become even easier because they've already killed someone. They can cope, they justify it, and they can easily start killing more people because they've already ripped the band-aid off. Now, normally in an everyday disagreement, it's just a disagreement. But I've got this gun with a bullet and I've already killed one person. Fuck it, I'm going to kill this person now. I'm going to kill every single person that disagrees with me. Once there's no going back, the problem is now you are going to trigger other people to have that same response. Because now, not only are people going to be fearful for their life, fucking going, well, this person did that, I need to do this to protect myself, or this person did that, they're, beyond redemption, I can kill them because this person isn't even a normal human being. I think this person is lower than a normal human being. You know, like we see this person coping. I've done nothing wrong. It's perfectly legal. You know, legalizing it makes it guilt-free. Uzuki having this profound, you know, knowledge that the moral compass is easy to destroy, and once a critical mass of people cross the line, it all justifies everyone to follow suit, and then suddenly everyone's gonna be killing each other, and it's a domino effect, and wow, can you really believe people are this brutal? And it shows just how shallow his ideals are. It shows just how shallow his thought process is and how little he actually cares about the situation at hand. Uzuki isn't doing this because he feels like he's, you know, attacking the JAA. Uzuki isn't doing this because he feels like he's getting revenge and he's doing what he needs to get his payback. That's all lies at this point, because if that was true, killing Asaki and walking away would have been enough. We even hear from Oki himself that assassinhood was dying out. In a couple years, assassins would have went bankrupt. It wouldn't have been an actual business model that would have been profitable. Unfortunately, social ostracization, cancel culture, and things like that have taken over and are a lot easier and also free compared to paying for people to die. Can you argue that social ostracization and cancel culture is toxic and probably not a good way for society to go? Yes, but it's better than killing the person you don't like. Like if I get upset with you and I go, hey, you should die, that doesn't make a very good society. But you know what? Society is progress. That's not the perfect solution. Society will never have the perfect solution, right? We will never be able to reach a point where we're like, we did everything we needed to. We're good. You know, it's very, in my opinion, very unintelligent to sit here in your ivory tower, Uzuki, and be like, hey, look at all of these simple minds, you know. It's just embarrassing, to be completely honest with you, because the worst part is all you're doing is facilitating the exact same problems, if not heightening them and making them 10 times worse than the system that you were so upset about and trying to break down. Oki is quite literally using Uzuki as a useful idiot. Why is Oki siding with Uzuki? Because Oki likes being in power. Oki, as the leader of the order, wants to be able to kill anyone he wants to be able to have all power over the government as part of the JAA. Quite frankly, doesn't want to give any of that up or let the next generation do anything new. Because again, assassinship and all of this stuff was all going down and it was all becoming, you know, out of style. So even if Uzuki killed Asaki and left and just let the JAA burn to the ground with what he did, completely possible, and the JAA probably would have never recovered. Now, Oki is able to not only keep his position as the order leader, he's able to continue killing people as he pleases, continue having as much power as possible over the government, and not for nothing, now he can bring assassinship back and just kill everyone he wants and get paid for it. What changed? In fact, Uzuki, you're probably a better chairman for Asaki's reign than Asaki even was, to be completely honest with you. Either Uzuki is some kind of accelerationist and he's trying to make the world as bad as possible, and he plans to do some big Lelouch sacrifice and he's trying to teach the world about human instinct. Even if he is doing something like that, and this is all part of that plan, and he's not actually aimlessly just letting society crumble after destroying it, it's still short-sighted and just unintelligent, in my honest opinion. Again, especially finding out what we find out later on in the chapter when we cut to the JCC students that are trying to do what they can to figure out how to work out this new JAA situation. The JCC has separated from the JAA, which shows that, like, even the school of assassins is like, hey, we don't stand for this shit. We're gonna go do our own thing, which means all of these people are in trouble since they're not a part of the JAA now. Now they're enemies, and again, it's open season on everybody. When Nasuki Seba orders his standard government-issued gun, he finds out that the JAA actually installed a remote control module. A little chip tracks every gun, registers every bullet that's fired, and locks any gun that they can from a fucking control panel in Uzuki's ivory tower. Uzuki saying that he wanted to give and show society that when you let society have pure freedom and let them kill everyone, they will always choose violence, and if they don't and they choose kindness, then it was always meant to be. It's all bullcrap, because Uzuki, you are tracking everyone, registering the bullets, and then making sure that you can lock any gun of someone that you don't want to use the gun anymore. Not only is this a very convenient way for us to stop this act of terrorism, that I'm not even mad about. I think it's actually a very effective and smart way for our protagonist to find actual actually a chance of stopping this whole nonsense. And that's ultimately what it comes down with. I love where the story is going. Like, don't get my criticism of Uzuki wrong. You know, I love where the story is going, and I think I'm excited to see where Seba is taking this information that he gains and how he's going to be able to use this, especially how the JCC students are going to factor into the story. Are they going to be on their own separate journey? Are, you know, they going to meet up with the gang of Sakamoto? All of the people that are dying, Natsuki Seba's mentioning that in just, you know, 10 days, all of society might crumble in Japan because 9% of the population might die, and 10% of a nation dying can collapse an entire nation. It just shows that Uzuki truly is just someone that is traumatized beyond belief to the point that they can't even think straight. There's a reason why Rihanna Cow wants him to die and has been planning for his death for the longest time, because he's just a madman. Uzuki has lost his moral compass. Uzuki has lost everything that he was on the day that he killed Rihanna Cow. Uzuki K was dead. This new person that exists is Slur completely. It's a new personality. It's a useful idiot, a large hypocrite who wanted to destroy the system but had no plans to rebuild it. And then when he puts guns in everybody's hands and watches them start killing each other, he goes, see, look, breaking society down is easy. Building a society that is built on peace is hard. So what did Uzuki do? He chose the easy route and let society crumble and didn't have any plans to build it back up besides make it even worse than it already was. And I guess ultimately at the end of the day, I'm excited to see where this all goes, because now I want Uzuki to be taken down more than ever. Just watching him judge from afar and watch society crumble from the, you know, from the highest position in the government. Also, Akira has an interesting moment where she goes to try and take Uzuki's life, or at least threaten Uzuki. And I have to say, not being willing to kill Uzuki, even though she's scared that she doesn't want to lose the Rihanna Cow personality, her aunt, her holding a knife to his throat is meaningless, because if she doesn't plan on taking that life, then she's not even fulfilling her aunt's will. Aunt Rihanna Cow wants Uzuki dead. We saw even last chapter, the Rihanna Cow personality is trying to take its own life, and hesitating to kill Uzuki here just further shows that she has lost the beaten path. I don't know if she'll ever find the beaten path, but she has already lost. It's very apparent that Akira has already lost. No one can stop Uzuki but our protagonist, and I'm excited that now that we have a plan and we have a way to stop Uzuki, let's see how we go about executing it, guys. And I will be here every week to see what our gang is doing every single time. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe. I sincerely do appreciate you guys watching. And if you haven't already, check out the main channel. Maybe you can watch our live reactions and, you know, experience this all, you know, blind with us. But guys, I will see you in the next review. Peace, 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 peace.